Hello everybody, my name is Dolly. So, trolls, huh? I don't think it's really a secret that ever since Trolls Band Together came out, the fandom has kind of been blowing up. And I think that's super cool because Trolls Band Together was actually a really fun movie. Unfortunately, the resurgence of Trolls has brought up some memories that I had banished to the deep crevices of my brain. And that is that I was obsessed with the first Trolls movie when it came out. And when I say obsessed, I mean obsessed. I had those little pencil toppers from McDonald's. I made my own Trolls trading cards. But, I'll tell you what I never did. I never made my own Trolls character. So, that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm also gonna try and give out some observations that I make that might help other people with their own Trolls characters. So let's make the troll. Okay, so the first thing I had to start out with when making my troll is what kind of troll it would be. Trolls come in different forms depending on what kind of music genre they are. There's pop, country, techno, rock, and a bunch of others. But I wanted to do a music genre that we hadn't already seen. So I was thinking, maybe nightcore, big band. For a good second, I was thinking about doing electro swing. But with electro swing, my main idea was to make it look kind of rubber hose in 1930s, and that would be too visually similar to Velvet and Veneer. And also, it would most likely be gray, but that's not a troll, that's a troll. So I finally decided on disco. I thought it would be a good idea because it has a very strong aesthetic and because I like disco music. I actually did realize that in the second Trolls movie, Branch briefly mentions disco.
It's a bit outdated.
Oh, he's right. Look at that. It still has disco.
So would that mean all the other disco trolls are dead? It's a bit morbid. So the first thing I really wanted to focus on when I started out was the hair shape, because for most of the trolls they have all of their own unique individual different silhouettes. So I gave her hair a little bit of a heart shape. I also added bangs that made a similar heart shape. I wasn't really expecting this at first, but troll anatomy is really weird. Their arms are very short in comparison to their heads, and their eyes are so close together. Oh my gosh! And their eyes are super tiny. I always thought that Queen Barb looked kind of weird, like, in comparison to the other trolls, and I always thought it was just her hair, but it's her eyes. Her eyes are huge compared to the others. One of the things that I've always really liked about trolls is the use of materials and textures, like how the trolls and Bergens have a slightly fuzzy texture to them, or how there are environments like the forest made of pool noodles. Which, actually, now that I think about it, maybe the reason that I like Trolls so much is because it reminds me of Little Big Planet. Yeah, now that I think about it, they actually do have a lot of similarities. Bruce's kids could have looked like Sackboys. As for the Trolls' clothes, this can't be said for every one of them, but I do really like it whenever they do the thing of repurposing an item to turn into clothes, giving it a very handmade kind of look. So for my troll, her belt is actually a mood ring. And in her hair there is those little stars that we would stick to the ceiling and they would glow in the dark. And her little leg warmers are made out of flower petals. I didn't really want to give her full-on pants because I noticed that other than Creek, none of the other trolls have any pants or skirts that go down to their knees. It's a little detail that I never really noticed before, but I think it's because they're so small that if you gave them full-on pants it might look a little baggy. Coloring her was a little bit difficult because I didn't want to go with pink and I didn't want to go with blue, so I had to really stray away from those colors while also trying to make her still look super saturated. I was originally really leaning toward orange, but unfortunately with the combination of the stars I felt it made her look a little bit too alien-like. So instead I circled back to a purple and a much lighter purple for her skin and her hair. I made her eyes and outfit a very bright blue, which actually took me a while to figure out which type of blue I wanted to use because I didn't want it to be so bright that it kind of took away from the rest of her. I wanted to go for a pose that was easily readable as disco, but also looked unique and dynamic, so I ended up with this, and I'm just now realizing that it kind of looks like the Team Magma pose. I guess if disco doesn't work out, she can just join a Pokemon team. I think as far as the movies go, 3 is definitely my favorite, first is probably my second favorite, and unfortunately second is my least favorite movie. just because I really like it when the trolls are interacting with characters that are bigger than them, like the Bergens and the Muppet people. So the fact that Trolls 2 has none of that in it kind of makes me a little bored the whole time I'm watching it. If you like Trolls 2, all the power to you. It's just personally not my favorite. When I got to the shading, one of the little details that I definitely wanted to add is the little specks of glitter that they have on their cheeks. I know that's really specific, but it's one of those things that I really enjoy because it's definitely something that they didn't have to add, but just that little extra touch makes it that more special. But speaking of special characters, we gotta talk about Velvet and Veneer. Hello! I did not know anything about them when I first went to see the movie. I didn't even know they were in it. So when I first saw them on screen, I was having a blast. I absolutely adore Rubber Hose cartoons, and I love that they have this kind of metallic-y, holographic look to them. Oh, it's so good. And, of course, I had to make a little felt version of my troll. It's something that's used most in the first movie whenever Poppy's really into scrapbooking. She makes a little tiny version of herself and Branch, and I thought it would be cute to do that with my troll. So, there are a lot of naming schemes when it comes to trolls, like as far as nature goes, Poppy, Branch, Clay, and then there's also names of like fabric, like satin and chenille. And there's John Dory, who's named after a fish. I decided to go the fabric route, and I named her Sherpa. And so for the rest of the background, I really liked the way the posters looked for Brozone in the third movie, so I wanted to kind of do something like that. I tried to make colors that weren't too distracting from her design, though it was a little bit hard because of how lightly colored she is. I also referenced a lot of, like, actual posters you can get of the trolls, like the kind you would see in Walmart or Hobby Lobby. I think Sherpa's whole thing would be that she would be trying to find all of the other disco trolls. Though based off of Branch's remark in the second movie, I don't think she's gonna find them. I actually noticed that a lot of the Bergens have very 70s disco outfits, so maybe the Bergens ate all the disco trolls? I don't know. She's probably very in touch with her emotions, and she goes around helping other trolls and Bergens, traveling from town to town like cheese sandwich. They probably call her the disco doctor. So yeah, here's my little troll character. Honestly, it was pretty fun and challenging to learn how to design something so specific like this. I also made an image of what her stars would look like if they were glowing in the dark. I like the idea that she just found them and was like, oh yes, I know exactly where to put these. And lastly, I'm gonna do a little bonus doodle of Sherpa and Harper. Harper was a troll from the first movie who was my absolute favorite. I had the little figurine of her before the movie even came out. That's probably one of the main reasons that I did like her. And then the movie comes out and she's only in 2 scenes. I'm pretty certain that she was originally going to be one of the ones who was kidnapped, but because of time, and so there wasn't as many that they had to keep track of, they cut her out. And I totally get why they would do that, but man, I was mad when the movie first came out. Anyways, I think that they would actually be really good friends. If Harper was or is your favorite, definitely let me know in the comments. So that was how I made my Trolls character. It's actually amazing to me how many specific little problems come up when you're trying to design a troll that you can't really find anything for. Like, ooh, I really need an idea for what the silhouette of her hair would look like, but it has to go up. And, oh, I really need to figure out what kind of clothes she should wear, but it can't be too complicated because she's incredibly small. But then again, because she's so small, you're able to make outfits where she's wearing everyday items, like a mood ring. So I definitely think it's a really fun and interesting way to challenge yourself. So I would recommend making a Trolls character. It's pretty fun. And as far as the channel goes, I'm hoping that my next video will be the Garage Kit video. Yay! For those who don't know, a Garage Kit is a figure that comes completely unassembled and unpainted, and you have to basically do everything yourself. I'm also hoping on doing a The Carlette Show devlog soon. So if any of that interests you, I would definitely recommend sticking around. Thank you, and goodbye!